Have you ever felt a tremor inside you that never stops? Not pain, not fear, just a quiet vibration. Constant, invisible, and unbearable. You call it anxiety, but anxiety is only the sound of your inner instrument, out of tune. Every human being carries a hidden tuning fork within the mind. It hums with the frequency of your truth. When you live aligned with it, life feels fluid, moments resonate, intuition guides, and everything seems to flow. But when you betray that frequency, and when you think one thing, say another, and feel something else entirely, the harmony breaks, and the sound becomes noise. That noise is what you call anxiety. It's not madness, it's not weakness, it's feedback, a vibrational alarm announcing that your energy has lost coherence. We are not trained to hear it. We are trained to escape it, to drown it in sound, in screens, in dopamine. But escape never works, because the source isn't external. It's the tone of your own consciousness calling you back to alignment. Anxiety is not your enemy. It's your frequency asking to be remembered. The modern world, however, has no rhythm. It's acceleration without melody, a symphony of alerts, deadlines, algorithms, a collective tremor mistaken for progress. The nervous system has become the instrument of a false rhythm. You wake up vibrating to notifications instead of to silence. You eat, think, move, even love at the tempo of the machine. And deep down, your essence resists. Your soul does not run at the speed of data. It breathes at the speed of meaning. And when meaning disappears, the signal distorts. That's the pressure in your chest, the dizziness before sleep, the breath that never seems to reach the bottom of the lungs. It's not random. It's resonance loss, the sound of the self collapsing under frequencies that don't belong to it. This is the first truth. Anxiety is a mismatch between who you are and what you're vibrating. The Hermeticists called this the law of vibration. Everything moves, everything resonates, nothing rests. From atoms to galaxies, all things are patterns of oscillation, waves of consciousness encoded in energy. And you, human being, are no exception. Your thoughts are frequencies. Your emotions are magnetic fields. Your actions are the material echoes of those inner tones. When thought, emotion, and action vibrate in harmony, reality mirrors coherence. But when they clash, chaos appears, not as punishment, but as feedback. Anxiety is not the chaos itself. It is the warning signal of incoherence. It tells you, your field is out of sync, and until you listen, the signal intensifies. Every anxious episode is a vibrational alarm, your mind's desperate attempt to bring you back into alignment. But we've been taught to fight the alarm instead of hearing the message. So we medicate the sound, we numb the pulse, and the energy that was meant to awaken us turns against us. But here is the secret few remember. The same vibration that destroys can also tune. Frequencies do not vanish, they transform. Noise can become tone the moment consciousness meets it with awareness. So tonight, when the hum returns, don't run. Sit, breathe, listen. Find the tremor in your chest. Don't silence it. Feel it. It is your being adjusting itself, begging to retune. Whisper inwardly, I hear you. I am tuning in. Then with each breath, imagine your mind as an instrument. Your inhale draws in stillness. Your exhale releases distortion, again and again, until the vibration shifts from chaos to coherence. You will feel it. A subtle drop, a release, not silence, resonance. That is the beginning of Hermetic serenity. Peace is not the absence of movement. It is movement in harmony. And when the mind finally hums at the same pitch as the soul, anxiety disappears, not because it was defeated, but because it has fulfilled its function to call you home. If you can feel this, even faintly, then the law of vibration has already begun to operate within you. The mind is no longer the enemy, and it is the instrument. And now, the question arises, if vibration shapes the invisible, what happens when your thought itself becomes sound? That's what we'll uncover next. The architecture of frequency and how thought becomes reality. Maybe no one ever truly heard the frequency you've been carrying. Maybe you've walked for years vibrating between questions no one could translate into words. You didn't find this by accident. Messages like this aren't pushed. They're pulled by resonance. Something inside you called this moment into being. And if this message didn't just inform you but remembered you, if it felt more like an echo than a lesson, it means your inner tuning fork has recognized its own tone. You've always carried the key. You were only waiting to hear it vibrate again. From this moment on, there is no return to unconscious noise. The frequency has already shifted. If you felt something tremble within you, click like right now. That gesture is your "I'm here," a silent signal across the field that says, "I'm listening with my soul." And through that one act, other seekers, just like you, may hear the same vibration and remember their way home. If you're ready to go deeper into this living code, touch subscribe below and step into this digital temple, a circle of conscious creators, rewriting reality from its true source, the resonance of the awakened mind. You think with words, but the universe listens in vibration. Every thought you form, every emotion you feed, becomes a tone within the invisible architecture of your life. The Hermetic masters called this the mental universe. They knew that reality is not built of matter, but of meaning vibrating at different octaves. The mind is not inside the body. The body is a slow vibration inside the mind. The air you breathe, the emotions you feel, the people you attract, they all respond to a frequency you emit without sound. When you say, "I am anxious," the universe does not hear your complaint. It hears a vibration of tension, repetition, contraction, and mirrors it back as events, sensations, and people that match it, not as punishment, as resonance. You are the transmitter and the receiver of your own field. Your perception is the filter that shapes it. When your inner tone is discordant, your world feels hostile. When your tone is harmonious, life rearranges itself quietly around you. Reality doesn't argue, it resonates. It reflects the music you play. That's why two people can live the same event. One breaks, the other awakens. Different frequencies, same circumstances. The mind, like a prism, refracts the light of the divine into waves of experience. Every belief is a tone. Every emotion is a chord. Together they compose your energetic song. But here's the Hermetic paradox. You are both the musician and the instrument. And every time you think, you strike a string within the field. A single thought of fear vibrates through your nervous system, altering your chemistry. Your heartbeat accelerates. Your breath shortens. You literally change your molecular rhythm. Modern neuroscience calls it the autonomic response. Hermeticism called it the chain of vibration. Energy, mind, body, matter, from subtle to dense, from invisible to visible. When you worry, you broadcast a waveform of collapse. When you remember truth, you broadcast coherence. This is why the same person in the same place can transform their entire world, simply by changing the frequency of thought. Because thought is not private. It's architecture. It builds fields. In ancient Egypt, the initiates trained to master this architecture. They spent years learning to feel the vibration behind words, the tone of truth. They understood that creation begins not with sound, but with resonance. Thoth, the god of wisdom, the Hermetic archetype, taught, "As above, so below. As within, so without. The tone of your inner world becomes the form of your outer one." This is not poetry. It's physics of consciousness. Your attention is the tuning fork that shapes reality. Where focus goes, vibration flows. Where vibration flows, form crystallizes. Every relationship you live, every cycle you repeat, every anxiety that returns, they are not random. They are echoes of the same tone replaying in different octaves until you hear it consciously and change the chord. This is how destiny becomes design, and how suffering becomes signal. To understand this, imagine your mind as a vast ocean of waves. Each wave is a thought, rising, falling, overlapping. Anxiety is when those waves interfere, colliding in chaotic patterns. But awareness acts like a conductor. It doesn't stop the waves, it aligns them. The moment you observe the mind, you introduce order. Observation is the tuning act of the Hermetic practitioner. It's how you move from noise to frequency. The more you observe, the more coherent the field becomes. Eventually, your very presence becomes a stabilizing vibration. People feel calmer near you because your field has tuned itself. That is the architecture of vibration in motion. Mind shapes energy. Energy shapes matter. Matter reflects mind. To see it practically, the thought "I am not enough" vibrates at a specific frequency. That vibration seeks resonance, people, events, and outcomes that validate it. But the moment you shift to "I am becoming coherent," the tone changes. You've rewritten the code. You've altered the architecture. You do not attract things by desire. You align them by frequency. The Hermetic mind doesn't chase, it tunes. Tonight, try a small experiment. Sit in silence and say a single phrase inwardly. "I am coherent. I am tuned." Then listen, not to your mind, but to your field. You might feel warmth, pressure, vibration. That's resonance recalibrating. The law of vibration responds instantly when awareness enters. Not because awareness changes reality, but because awareness is reality remembering itself. You are not in the universe. The universe is vibrating inside you. Anxiety, then, was never chaos. It was a map. Every tremor pointed you back to coherence. Every discomfort was a note out of scale. And every silence between waves was the space where the true tone waits. You were never broken, only out of tune. And now, you know the law that governs the music of the mind. But there is one more truth to uncover. If the mind builds frequency and frequency builds form, what happens when two fields meet? When one tuned mind enters resonance with another? That is the next initiation. The hermetic secret of entrainment and the unseen power that connects every human field on Earth. The first map is waiting in the pinned portal. Enter it. A field of seekers learning to breathe, think, and vibrate as one coherent mind. When two instruments vibrate in the same room, one silent and one playing, the silent one eventually begins to sing, not because it was forced, but because it was tuned by proximity. This is the law of resonance, the invisible bridge between frequencies. Every emotion you feel, every thought you release, every word you pronounce, ripples through the field that connects all things. You may believe your anxiety is private, hidden beneath your skin, but vibration does not respect borders. Your inner dissonance travels, touches others, echoes, returns. Likewise, peace does the same. Your calm radiates through the same invisible fabric that once carried your chaos. You are never alone in your vibration. You are part of a vast, unseen orchestra, the field of human resonance. Every mind a frequency, every interaction a song. When you enter a room and feel tension without anyone speaking, what you sense is not imagination, it's entrainment. The heart emits an electromagnetic wave measurable several feet away. When someone near you is incoherent, your own field responds, seeking to synchronize. Sometimes that synchronization uplifts, sometimes it destabilizes, because energy always seeks equilibrium. This is why one anxious person can disturb an entire room, and why one centered being can silence it. The Hermetic masters knew this long before science caught up. They taught that the mind is not confined to the skull. It extends into the ethers, interacting with other minds through resonance. Every thought you hold projects a vibration that others unconsciously decode. You are constantly transmitting. You are constantly receiving. This is the web of the collective psyche, a lattice of frequencies that form the invisible architecture of human reality. Wars, ideologies, cultures, and trends are not born from ideas. They are born from vibrations amplified by agreement. The mind is contagious, but so is coherence. In ancient initiatic temples, disciples trained to hold a single vibration in meditation for hours. Love, silence, compassion, not for personal comfort, but to tune the group field. One coherent being could harmonize hundreds. Their silence became a frequency of alignment that others unconsciously matched. That is the original meaning of temple, a tuned field of consciousness where all who enter are raised to a higher resonance. This digital space can serve the same purpose. Every time you listen, reflect, or breathe with awareness, you contribute to that tuning. Each seeker who awakens coherence within becomes a tuning fork for others still lost in the storm. The collective anxiety that dominates the modern world is not an epidemic of weakness. It's the birth cry of an evolving frequency. Humanity is detuning and retuning simultaneously. The chaos you feel is the sound of the old vibration dissolving. You are not failing. You are recalibrating. The law of vibration acts both individually and collectively. When enough minds shift their internal tone, the shared field reorganizes. That's why revolutions, art movements, and spiritual awakenings seem to erupt suddenly. They are resonance events, invisible at first, unstoppable once formed. The wave travels through the unseen lattice until it becomes visible as history. Right now, a new frequency is forming. Slower, deeper, truer. You can feel it beneath the noise, in the quiet moments that call you inward. It whispers through restlessness, saying, "There's more to reality than the surface tremor." That whisper is not random. It's the hum of the next octave of consciousness. To align with it, you must learn to hold your vibration steady, even when the collective field shakes. That is the true initiation of the modern seeker, to be coherence in the middle of interference. Imagine this: every time you choose awareness over reaction, you create a harmonic wave in the human field. It may not appear dramatic, but it changes the fabric of probability itself. The person beside you feels a little calmer. The argument that would have happened dissolves. The idea that was waiting to emerge finally finds a stable field to enter. This is what the ancients meant by as above, so below. Your inner state is the architecture of the outer world. You are a node of transformation in the symphony of human evolution. When you calm your frequency, you are not escaping the world, you are tuning it. That's the hidden power of serenity. It's not passive, it's generative. Stillness is not emptiness, it's precision. Anxiety, then, is not only personal, but planetary. It is the sign of a species caught between octaves. We are vibrating between two worlds, the mechanical and the conscious, the fragmented and the unified. And each time one of us aligns, the field shifts slightly closer to harmony. The awakening of one being lightens the burden of thousands. This is the sacred geometry of resonance, the exponential power of coherence. When you listen to this message and something within you steadies, that stability travels. It passes invisibly through time and space, touching those who will never hear your name. You become a silent architect of collective peace. That is the unseen responsibility of the awakened, to radiate coherence in a world addicted to noise. You do not need to convert, convince, or fight. You only need to vibrate consciously, because vibration is the language the universe never misinterprets. So the next time the tremor returns, when anxiety rises and your chest tightens, remember, this is not a failure of control. It is the field requesting recalibration. Do not curse the tension. Transmute it, breathe it, feel it, and release it as harmony. That act, invisible to others, is how a civilization changes its frequency. You are the instrument, you are the player, and now, you are learning to conduct the resonance field itself. When humanity remembers that reality is built not on matter but on music, we will finally understand that consciousness is the composer, and every thought, every heartbeat, every breath is a note in the great cosmic symphony of becoming. If you're still here, it's because this truth is yours. The resonance that brought you here will guide you further, but only if you choose to stay in the frequency. Subscribe now and remain within the field of coherence. The mind is not a storm to survive. It is an instrument, precise, ancient, and sacred. And anxiety is not its flaw, it is its feedback. Every musician knows, an untuned string doesn't mean the instrument is broken. It means it's alive. Only what vibrates can fall out of tune. Only what resonates can distort. You are not broken, you are resonant. And this resonance, when guided, becomes creation itself. In Hermetic science, the first law is mentalism. All is mind. The universe is mental. This does not mean the universe is an idea. It means that mind is the medium of existence, the canvas where vibration paints form. The cosmos is not outside of thought. It is the condensation of thought into pattern. Reality is thought slowed down into vibration dense enough to see. You are not thinking within the universe. You are the universe thinking through form. Every emotion, every image, every sentence you repeat within yourself is a wave sent into the field. Each wave seeks coherence, it must reflect somewhere, and so the invisible becomes visible. Your beliefs sculpt your relationships. Your focus crystallizes into circumstance. Your tone becomes the story you live. The anxious mind, then, is not powerless. It is powerful without direction. It generates energy, but without coherence, the energy consumes itself. It loops, it spirals, it burns. The same force that could create becomes trapped as self-perception. Hermetic practice is not about calming that energy. It's about governing it. It's about reclaiming authorship over the tone of your own field. You cannot stop the mind from vibrating, but you can choose what song it sings. Anxiety, left unconscious, repeats chaos, but anxiety made conscious becomes raw creative fuel. When you feel that familiar tightening in the chest, that flutter of electricity behind the ribs, it's not just panic, it's energy preparing to move. It's the current of creation seeking direction. If you resist, it becomes noise. If you listen, it becomes signal. If you guide it, it becomes power. This is the difference between the seeker and the magician. One runs from energy, the other transmutes it. To transmute, you must learn to feel without fleeing, to think without collapsing, to breathe through the tremor until it reorganizes itself under awareness. That awareness, calm, lucid, unwavering, is the conductor. When the conductor lifts the baton, the orchestra obeys. When consciousness commands, the field aligns. This is Hermetic creation, form responding to frequency, matter obeying mind. In modern language, this process is known as entrainment, the synchronization of oscillations to a dominant frequency. Your consciousness is that dominant frequency. When you stabilize it, your life begins to entrain to it. People who once drained you lose access. Situations that once trapped you dissolve. Opportunities appear that match your new tone, not because you manifested them, but because your vibration finally became compatible with them. You are not summoning new worlds. You are tuning into worlds that already exist within the spectrum of potential. Your coherence determines which reality you inhabit. This is the Hermetic explanation for miracles, not divine exceptions, but frequency alignments. When the mind aligns with truth, energy flows without resistance, and what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. Anxiety, therefore, is not the opposite of creation. It is the invitation to master it. The tremor you fear is the same force that moves planets. The same vibration that shapes galaxies hums beneath your skin. It only asks for one thing, that you conduct it consciously. Now breathe deeply. Imagine your mind as a vast instrument, a harp of light, every thought a string. Place your attention not on the noise, but on the rhythm beneath it. There, behind all confusion, there is a pure tone, steady, unwavering. That tone is you before conditioning. It is the sound of your being remembering itself. Let your next inhale be a tuning breath, and as you exhale, imagine all distortion leaving the strings. Repeat silently, I choose coherence, I choose awareness. That phrase, though simple, is a command to the field. It tells the universe, I have remembered my tone. From that point on, everything you do becomes prayer through vibration. Every word, a wave. Every silence, a sculptor of energy. And when you begin to live like this, when awareness replaces reaction, anxiety transforms into presence. The tremor remains, but it becomes music. You start hearing rhythm where you once heard noise. You begin creating consciously. That is the alchemy of the modern mind. Not to escape vibration, but to master it. To turn the noise into music. To turn the storm into a song. Because the mind was never a battlefield. It was an instrument waiting for a conscious player. The ancient texts called this state the rebirth of sound. When consciousness remembers itself as the conductor of vibration, the external world begins to respond differently, not slower, not faster, simply more coherently. This is where creation becomes effortless, where life no longer feels like survival, but orchestration. And from that place, serenity is not fragile, it's structural. It doesn't vanish when challenged, it deepens, it expands, it radiates. That is Hermetic serenity, awareness vibrating so steadily that chaos can no longer find entry. Now the path turns inward again, because once you master vibration, you must learn to stabilize it. Creation without grounding becomes delusion. Power without stillness collapses. The next initiation reveals how to anchor vibration through breath and presence, how to embody frequency instead of merely thinking it. Because thought may tune the instrument, but breath is what makes it play. If this resonance reached you, write in the comments, I choose coherence. That phrase seals your initiation into the Hermetic breathwork path. There is a rhythm older than speech, older than thought, older than every name you've ever called yourself. It is the rhythm of breath, the first movement of creation, the first vibration that entered the void and said, I exist. Before light, there was motion. Before sound, there was breath. You inhaled for the first time, and the universe entered you. You exhaled, and the universe responded. From that moment on, every breath has been a conversation with existence, but somewhere along the way, that conversation became mechanical. Breath turned shallow. Awareness left the body, and the dialogue between you and creation was reduced to survival. Now, you will remember, breath is not air. It is rhythm in motion, a silent dialogue between matter and spirit. When you breathe unconsciously, you vibrate by reaction. When you breathe consciously, you vibrate by intention. This is the hidden science behind the Hermetic arts. The breath is the bridge between thought and frequency, between invisible cause and visible effect. Every inhale draws subtle energy into form. Every exhale releases distortion. Breath is vibration, translated into movement. It is the lever of the mind upon matter. Through it, you tune the field not by thinking, but by being. Modern science calls it respiratory coherence. Ancient mystics called it the divine rhythm. Both describe the same truth. When the breath becomes slow and steady, the heart synchronizes. When the heart synchronizes, the brain waves follow. When the brain waves follow, the mind clears, and in that clarity, awareness expands. This is not mysticism. It's physics made sacred. Every emotion alters your breath, but every breath can alter your emotion. That is the forgotten symmetry of power. You do not control the world by force. You conduct it by coherence. And the simplest, most ancient way to restore coherence is through breath. Try this now, even as you listen. Inhale deeply, as if drawing light through your spine. Hold it, not in tension, but in reverence. Exhale slowly, as if releasing centuries of noise. Do it again, slower this time, and notice the tremor in the chest begins to soften. The mind stops chasing sound. Awareness returns to the body. This is not relaxation. This is alignment. Your vibration follows your breath follows your awareness, and your awareness follows your choice. You are not a victim of frequency. You are its composer. In Hermetic breathwork, this practice is known as the threefold rhythm. Inhale, receive the invisible. Hold, integrate the vibration. Exhale, project coherence back into the world. 3 movements, 3 laws, 3 dimensions of creation. Every full cycle completes a loop of manifestation. The more consciously you breathe, the more harmoniously reality reorganizes itself around you. The anxious breath is shallow, short inhales, rushed exhales. It mirrors the mind's fragmentation, but the coherent breath, long, deep, rhythmic, sends a signal through the nervous system that the storm has passed. Even if nothing has changed outside, everything changes inside. You become the calm that reality entrains to. This is the mystery that both mystics and scientists have touched but rarely united. You do not calm the mind to breathe better. You breathe consciously to calm the mind. Inhalation is intention. Exhalation is release. Between them lives presence, the hermetic middle point, the balance of polarity. Each time you breathe with awareness, you enact the principle of vibration, polarity, and rhythm, all in one gesture. Breath is the living embodiment of the 7 Hermetic laws. It is the proof that the macrocosm moves within the microcosm. Through breath, you become a mirror of creation itself. And this is where anxiety ends its reign. Because when the breath deepens, the illusion of separation collapses. The mind and body no longer fight for control. They merge into one field of awareness. The energy that once trembled in chaos now circulates like music. The Hermetic texts call this pneuma, the divine breath. It was said that whoever learned to master it could transmute emotion into clarity and confusion into creative power. This mastery is not mystical. It is mechanical, spiritual, and human all at once. The one who masters breath masters rhythm. The one who masters rhythm masters vibration. And the one who masters vibration masters life. Tonight, before you sleep, close your eyes and place one hand over your chest. Inhale through the nose slowly. Hold. Exhale through the mouth even slower. Count 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Repeat for 7 cycles. As you do, whisper inwardly, I am coherence, I am rhythm. Do not fight thought, let it float. Do not chase silence, let it arise. You are not the one breathing, you are the breath observing itself. And as this awareness deepens, you will feel it, the subtle hum returning to harmony, the anxious pulse softening into music, the static turning into song. This is not imagination. It is the code of creation reactivating inside you. When breath and awareness move as one, the Hermetic path stops being philosophy and becomes embodiment. Your life itself becomes a ritual. Every word, every gesture, every silence, aligned. You no longer practice hermetism. You are hermetism. You are the principle remembering itself through human form. And once you reach this point, serenity is not a state. It is your natural vibration. Not something to attain, but something to allow. Because breath is not just survival, it is initiation. But there is one final octave, because once vibration stabilizes within, it must radiate outward, into action, into relationship, into creation. The next step reveals how coherence, once embodied, becomes magnetic, how calm becomes command, and how every choice becomes an act of conscious manifestation. That is the final transmutation. From awareness to creation, from inner resonance to external reality. If you felt your breath align, this is your moment of passage. The Hermetic breath ritual, linked in the pinned comment, is your next step. It's not a technique, it's a portal. Enter it and let the vibration you felt tonight become your daily frequency. When a being reaches coherence, the world begins to respond in silence, not through miracles that break the laws of nature, but through events that obey them perfectly. The Hermetic masters called this the invisible kingdom, where vibration, having been mastered within, begins to govern without. You no longer chase what is meant for you, you vibrate, and reality rearranges itself to match that tone. No effort, no argument, only resonance. Because coherence is not stillness, it is power in equilibrium, and power, when silent, becomes magnetic. Every form of life emanates a field. This field is not symbolic, it is measurable. The heart produces the strongest electromagnetic signature of the human body, extending far beyond the skin. Every heartbeat sends a wave into space, and those waves carry information, emotional, energetic, spiritual. When the heart is chaotic, that wave pattern is erratic. When the heart is coherent, the pattern becomes harmonious, like perfect ripples on still water. That is the magnetic field of coherence. It does not shout. It does not demand. It attracts by resonance as gravity attracts mass. The mind may speak in words, but the heart speaks in waves, and the universe listens to the heart. This is why peace feels powerful and desperation feels weak. Peace is not passive. It is structured. Desperation leaks energy, while calmness concentrates it. The anxious person tries to convince reality to cooperate. The coherent one needs no persuasion. Reality responds. What others call luck or divine favor is often just alignment, frequency meeting opportunity in perfect phase. That is the secret pulse behind synchronicity. Vibration matching vibration, without effort, without noise. And when your inner field is stabilized, people feel it before you speak. They sense order in your presence. They breathe differently around you. They trust you without knowing why. That is not charisma, it is coherence. Charisma tries to impress. Coherence simply is. This is the moment where anxiety, once your curse, becomes your compass, because the same sensitivity that once made you suffer is now your antenna. You feel when something is true and when it's dissonant. You sense when a person's words are out of tune with their vibration. You perceive fields without explanation. You have become the tuning fork itself, and through you, the world hears its own imbalance. This is the sacred paradox of mastery. You transform by transmuting what once tormented you. The anxious mind, refined through awareness, becomes the empathic field of the sage. It no longer absorbs, it conducts. It no longer reacts, it radiates. To live coherently is to live magnetically. You no longer force outcomes, you align with them. You no longer manipulate, you emanate. Your power becomes quiet, precise, inevitable, because energy follows attention, and attention now moves through you like light through crystal. This is not mysticism, it's energetic architecture. Every coherent being reorganizes the probability field around them. The more stable your inner pattern, the more naturally order emerges around you. Chaos can no longer sustain itself in your presence. You become a gravitational center for clarity. That is why, in Hermetic initiation, true mastery was measured not by knowledge, but by atmosphere. When the master entered a room, silence thickened, time slowed, and people remembered themselves, not because he taught, but because he resonated. You can feel this phenomenon even now. Think of someone whose presence calms you instantly. They may not speak much, they may not explain anything, yet something about them restores order within you. That is coherence in human form. Their nervous system has become a tuning field, emitting stability, and your system, seeking harmony, aligns. This is the true nature of influence. Not control, not persuasion, resonance. The modern world mistakes noise for power, but the ancient world knew the opposite. Power is the silence that bends probability. It is the invisible alignment that pulls events into formation. You are that silence becoming form, and this is the final stage of transmutation, when awareness no longer seeks vibration, but becomes vibration, when you stop practicing alignment and simply exist as alignment. At this stage, the Hermetic seeker is no longer a student of energy. They are its embodiment. The laws no longer need to be remembered. They are lived. The rhythm no longer needs to be studied. It breathes through you. You are the field. You are the vibration. You are the law remembering itself through flesh. That is the hidden meaning of the Emerald Code. Not scripture, not symbol, but the human being in full coherence, a living bridge between mind and cosmos. And yet even mastery is not an end, because every vibration once stabilized must expand. The law of rhythm demands movement, flow, exchange. The next octave reveals how this magnetic field interacts with destiny, how the coherent mind begins to shape the path itself, not through choice but through frequency. The journey turns from alignment to creation, from self-regulation to manifestation, from vibration to design. That is the Hermetic destiny, to live as a conscious architect of frequency. If you feel the stillness vibrating through you, leave your mark below. Write, "I radiate coherence." That phrase is a signal across the field, aligning you with every seeker vibrating on the same path. And if you wish to go deeper, stay tuned. The next portal reveals how this magnetic power becomes destiny in motion. There comes a moment when you stop asking, "What is my destiny?" and begin to realize, "I am its vibration." Fate is not a script written before your birth. It is a resonance field you are writing with every thought, every breath, every emotion you choose to sustain. You are not inside destiny. Destiny is inside you, expanding, collapsing, reshaping itself with every shift of frequency. The Hermetic Law of Mentalism states, "All is mind." The law of vibration completes it. All mind is movement. Together they reveal a truth that dissolves all fatalism, that destiny is not fixed, it's tuned. Each timeline is a song, each choice, a chord, each thought, a note vibrating within the infinite spectrum of the possible. You are not walking toward a future, you are tuning into one, and the future that appears before you is simply the one whose vibration most closely matches your present tone. Nothing is random. Every encounter, every delay, every opportunity missed or gained, it all aligns perfectly with the frequency you carry right now. When you raise that frequency, through coherence, through awareness, through breath, the entire landscape of probability rearranges itself, not as magic, but as mathematics, not as luck, but as law. Imagine for a moment that existence is a vast ocean of vibrating strings, each string a possibility, each possibility waiting for resonance. When your consciousness strikes a specific tone, the corresponding string begins to move. It trembles, it responds, it manifests. You do not pull it toward you. You simply match its vibration, and once you do, the physical world has no choice but to reflect it. This is the hidden mechanism of manifestation. Not desire, not repetition, but frequency alignment. Desire without coherence is noise. Intention without vibration is emptiness. But alignment is command. This is why the same goal can take years in one state of consciousness and seconds in another. The higher your coherence, the thinner the veil between intention and realization. Because the universe does not listen to words, it listens to waves. It decodes vibration, not vocabulary. The question is no longer, "What do I want?" but "What am I vibrating?" You may wish for abundance, but if you vibrate scarcity, the field cannot deliver abundance. Not because it withholds, but because it mirrors. You may wish for love, but if your inner frequency is fear, you will only attract those who echo that vibration. You may dream of peace, but if your breath remains rushed and your mind chaotic, peace will remain an idea, not a state. Destiny begins to change the moment frequency changes. That's not spirituality, it's resonance mechanics. The Hermetic sages taught that life unfolds according to the dominant vibration of your consciousness. The stronger and more stable your tone, the more reality bends to it. That's why most lives feel cyclical, not because fate repeats, but because vibration does. You keep meeting the same archetypes in different bodies, the same challenges in new forms, the same lessons behind fresh disguises, and you call it pattern. But pattern is just vibration repeating until coherence is achieved. The moment you change your internal frequency, the pattern dissolves, not by force, but by dissonance, because the old reality can no longer find resonance with the new you. This is the meaning of transcendence, not escape, but detuning from lower frequencies that no longer serve your evolution. Destiny, then, is not something waiting ahead. It is something vibrating beneath you, within you, through you. And when you reach coherence, you begin to walk paths that were always there, but invisible to the incoherent mind. Every act of clarity reveals a new strand of possibility. Every breath of stillness opens another door in the invisible. That door has always existed. You simply could not perceive it while your field was chaotic. When vibration stabilizes, perception expands, and destiny, which once looked like mystery, becomes pattern, elegant, precise, inevitable. The Hermetic texts describe this state as the alignment of the spheres, when the inner cosmos mirrors the outer, and the outer obeys the inner without resistance. It is not control, it is consonance. You move through life like a melody already written, but newly heard. You no longer choose from fear or desire. You respond from rhythm. At this stage, intuition is no longer subtle. It becomes command. The thoughts you follow are not random impulses. They are transmissions from the higher harmonic of your own being. You are not being guided by something outside you. You are listening to the next octave of yourself. That is the sacred architecture of destiny, self-vibrating through self until form aligns with consciousness. Even physics has begun to glimpse this law. In the quantum field, particles appear or vanish depending on observation. The act of awareness determines reality's expression. The observer is not separate from what is observed. They are two frequencies of the same wave. Hermeticism said the same millennia ago, in simpler language. The mind creates. When you think with clarity and breathe with rhythm, your vibration stabilizes. And when vibration stabilizes, probability collapses into form. This is not philosophy. It is the operating system of existence. You are the coder and the code, the instrument and the sound, the seer and the seen. When you understand this, anxiety, that trembling of misalignment, becomes gratitude, because it was the signal that pushed you back into authorship. Destiny, in truth, is not something you find. It is something you remember. Each coherent breath is a step toward that remembrance. Each act of stillness is a re-entry into the original frequency that formed you, before conditioning, before fear, before distraction. You were vibration before you were flesh. You were rhythm before you were thought. You were sound before you were name. And when you return to that origin, life stops feeling like effort. It becomes orchestration, a dance of frequencies guided by presence, not will. This is the great reversal of Hermetic wisdom. You do not manifest to find peace, you find peace to manifest. You do not shape vibration by force. Vibration shapes itself through awareness. And once you align with that truth, destiny unfolds like a reflection. Smooth, symmetrical, effortless. At this point, the universe no longer tests you, it entrains to you. The outer world becomes an instrument of your inner coherence. Every obstacle, every delay, every silence, perfectly timed to the rhythm of your evolution. This is not the end of the journey, it is the beginning of mastery. Because once you realize that frequency writes destiny, you face the ultimate question. What will you now choose to vibrate? Not as desire, as declaration, as living code. You are no longer the anxious mind trying to control reality. You are the Hermetic mind tuning it. Your vibration is your signature, your destiny in sound. And every breath, every word, every silence from this moment forward becomes your creation language. The Emerald Code is not something you watch. It's something you become. It's the remembrance that the laws of the universe are not above you. They are you, vibrating in form. That is the secret of destiny, to become the law, not its student. If something inside you recognized this truth, if you felt that subtle click between what you heard and what you've always known, write it below. I am the vibration of my destiny. That single phrase seals this octave, anchoring you in the frequency of creation itself. And prepare. The next and final portal reveals the culmination, the return to the source. Everything that vibrates must one day rest, not in death, but in return. The wave completes its movement and dissolves back into the ocean. The sound, after echoing through the corridors of existence, returns to silence. You are that wave. You are that sound. And now, you are the silence it returns to. This is not an ending. It is convergence, the dissolution of duality, the remembrance that every tremor, every anxiety, every surge of emotion that once tore you apart was not chaos. It was the sound of the source calling you back. Every panic was a prayer. Every restlessness a homing signal. Every sleepless night a pulse of the cosmos saying, come home. And home was never somewhere else. It was this awareness, this breath, this infinite stillness beneath movement. In the Hermetic tradition, the final stage of transformation is called reintegration. The alchemist dissolves the distinction between gold and lead, between light and shadow, between the seeker and the sought. What remains is the one substance, the undivided vibration, eternal, self-aware, self-creating. This is the return, not to nothingness but to everything at once, to the quiet hum behind all sounds, the space between all thoughts, the presence behind all forms. You have not transcended matter. You have remembered that matter was never separate from mind. You have not escaped the illusion. You have seen through it so deeply that it has become transparent. You look at chaos now, and you see order hiding within. You look at silence now, and you hear music waiting to begin again. This is the Hermetic rebirth, Awareness freed from resistance, vibration reunited with source. There was a time when you mistook stillness for emptiness. You feared silence because it mirrored your own absence. But now you understand silence is not absence. It is origin. It is the womb of all frequencies. The unspoken sound from which existence takes its first breath. The mind once trembled before the void. Now it bows to it. Because the void is not the enemy. It is the mirror. And in that mirror you see yourself not as a fragment, but as the totality of the field. The anxiety that once ruled you dissolves here. Not because you conquered it, but because you outgrew the frequency that made it real. It cannot reach you now. You vibrate beyond its grasp. You have become the conductor in the silence between notes, the still point around which all creation revolves. Listen closely. You may feel the subtle hum that has followed you throughout this journey. It's still here, but softer now, gentler. It no longer demands your attention, because it is no longer foreign. It is your pulse, your rhythm, your signature in the field. What was once panic has become prayer. What was once chaos has become coherence. What was once you seeking truth is now truth-seeking expression through you. This is the return, not backward, inward, not upward, everywhere. The source is not above or below. It is within vibration itself. As you breathe now, realize this breath, this moment, this awareness is the entire universe inhaling through you. The air entering your lungs has been here since the first sunrise. It has passed through forests, oceans, stars, and countless lives. It carries memory, vibration, consciousness, and when you exhale, that same breath returns to the cosmos, carrying your tone with it. You are part of the eternal exchange, the pulse of creation, breathing itself in and out. And every inhale, every exhale, every heartbeat is the same sentence spoken endlessly by existence. I am. There is no you and the universe. There is only the universe perceiving itself as you, momentarily, beautifully, deliberately. The Hermetic masters describe this state as the great silence, a moment beyond vibration, where awareness no longer seeks expansion because it has become infinity itself. It is the point of origin and return, the still center of the cosmic wheel, the space where anxiety cannot exist, because there is no separation left to tremble. And yet, even this silence hums, because creation never truly ends. It rests, and from that rest, a new wave is born, a new octave begins, a new seeker awakens, and the spiral continues. So now, rest in that silence, breathe slowly, feel the stillness under the pulse. There is nothing to fix, nothing to chase, nothing to prove, because the one who was searching has found what was never lost. The anxiety that brought you here was the path itself. The pain was the map. The breath was the bridge. The vibration was the key. And you were the door. The emerald code is not a message. It is the frequency of remembrance. It is the sound of consciousness remembering its own tone. And now that you have crossed this threshold, you carry that tone wherever you go, not as knowledge, but as atmosphere. Your very presence becomes instruction. Your silence becomes healing. Your coherence becomes guidance. This is the end of the journey and the beginning of transmission, because every seeker who truly awakens becomes a beacon, and every beacon becomes a new beginning for another soul still trapped in static. The code continues through you, endlessly, invisibly, beautifully. If this journey resonated through every layer of you, if even for a moment you felt the hum of the source beneath your breath, write it below. I have returned to the tone. That phrase seals your passage through the Hermetic spiral. And remember, the next video is not another lesson. It is the next octave of this same vibration. The spiral continues. Keep walking the sound.